The Cubs and the Brewers were supposed to be the two best teams in the NL Central this season. All apologies to Pittsburgh and Cincinnati and St. Louis, who were all supposed to be okay, but it was supposed to be Chicago and Milwaukee at the top of the division. And of course, we look at the start of the season, the Cubs looked like they were great, and the Brewers not so much. Things have changed over the course of the last month or two, and right now it's Milwaukee with an 8-game lead in the NL Central. The Brewers and the Cubs both playing at home today. What can we expect? Let's talk about it. Daily double video powered by WagerTalk. I'm Ted Sabransky. Teddy covers. And let's break down these two NL Central games for Wednesday night. And let's start. Where should we start? Let's start in Milwaukee, where the Guardians and the Brewers, I've seen minus 120, minus 125. Look at the Odds Logic live odds screen. Get a free trial, guys. oddslogic.com/Teddy. Free 7-day trial for our live odds product. It's cool. Check it out. Again, oddslogic.com/Teddy. But minus 120, minus 125 for the Brewers. So they're short home favorite. Total in this game, 7.5, juice to the over. And there's 7.5 juice to the over at several books. Not every book. I'm even seeing an 8 out there right now for what it's worth for this one. And we talk about Cleveland right now. There are big issues when it comes to their lineup. Obviously, when you're missing, Jose Ramirez out for the season, Angel Martinez now on the IL, and it's not the only. Chase DeLauder has a bruised rib. He may not play tonight. They're starting outfielder as well. So those are big bats for a team that doesn't have a lot of big bats right now. And the loss of Ramirez, in this bettor's opinion, that's significant. I know he isn't having a great season, but when you take your best hitter out of an anemic lineup long term, it's a problem. And Cleveland, not a team I'm excited about putting my money on right now. They lost last night 2-1 in the opener of the 3-game series. And that was Milwaukee's 7th win in their last 10 games. And what did the Guardians do last night? 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position. That's what they're doing right now. And again, we're talking about a team that has been dismal. They're 3-7 their last 10. Milwaukee 7-3 in their last 10. And yet the number here is really short to back the Brewers, despite all of the Cleveland injuries, despite all of the recent concerns for the Guardians being able to put runs up on the scoreboard. And obviously, again, when you lose 2-1 last night, giving up 2 solo shots for the Brewers was all they needed. The Guardians are going to be in a lot of low-scoring, tight games like last night's affair. They need to figure out a way to grind runs. The other thing they need to do is get good pitching from Williams, who Gavin Williams has been their best pitcher this season. That's why the number is as low as it is. Now, Williams is coming off back-to-back starts against the Yankees, who have a much better lineup than the one he's going to face here. Manager Stephen Vogt, quote, "I thought Gavin at times looked really good. It wasn't as sharp as we've seen Gavin recently. He did struggle with high pitch counts in both those starts against the Yankees." Quote, "They made him throw a lot of pitches, kept us in the game, and gave us a chance to win." Williams has been a bet on hurler all season long. The bullpen's behind him. Well, we trust Milwaukee bullpen. We trust Cleveland's bullpen as well. 2 pens that we tried. Now, Sproat for the Brewers has some iffy numbers. That being said, last time out, 6 full innings of work. Only the second time this season he's finished 6 full innings of work. Gave up only 4 hits in that ball game. So the arrow's pointed up for Sproat. The arrow's been pointed up for Williams all year. These are not lineups that we're afraid of. These are bullpens that we like. What's the current form? Cleveland, 3 straight unders, 4-1 to the under last 5. Milwaukee, 2 straight unders, 5-1 to the under in the last 6. We trust the bullpens, and we don't trust the lineups. Let's look for the Guardians and Brewers stay under the total. Again, right now, you can find an 8 out there, 7.5, the prevailing number. That being said, you can get under 7.5 at reduced juice if you shop around. Before I talk about the Cubs and the Rockies, I do want to let you know about what's going on right now at WagerTalk.com. And honestly, I understand it's the dog days of June. NHL finals are done. NBA finals are done. Preseason doesn't start till August. You got World Cup and baseball right now as the primary factors. That being said, football, my friends, is just around the corner. And right now, you take $250 off for an extended football package. I think it's a really good deal. And if you want to get on board, now's the time to do it. Promo code USA250 will get you $250 off NFL and college football combined. It's a good deal. And obviously, if you're looking for football, I've been in Las Vegas for 28 years, and football is the reason I'm still here. So if you're interested, check out my homepage. Check out any of the homepages on WagerTalk.com. My homepage is obviously WT.buzz/TC for an extended service package. I know it's the middle of June. Think about it. The offer expires July 4th. We appreciate your likes. We appreciate your comments. We appreciate your follows very, very much. Obviously, WagerTalk TV wouldn't be here without you guys. We wouldn't have 250,000 subscribers without you. All of the support we've gotten. Thank you. And we continue to appreciate the likes, comments, and follows. Let's talk about the Cubs and the Rockies right now. And looking at the Odds Logic live odds screen, I'm seeing minus 180, minus 190 in that range for the Cubs. Total sitting at 10. The wind is blowing out at Wrigley tonight. And certainly the Cubs, we all know, the Cubs started 27-12. This is not a short-term slump, since this is a team that is 11-24 in their last 35 ball games. The Rockies played competitive baseball early. They were 14-17 for their first 31. They had a really rough stretch and went 6-20 over a 26-game span. They're 8-9 since. Mediocre, 500-level team. Not priced like a 500-level team. They're priced like a bottom feeder. Chicago, supposed to be great. They have not been great. They have not been good. They've been bad. And yet, what are we seeing? They continue to be priced like the team that went 27-12 in early season play, not the team that has been, again, 11-24 for the Cubs. 35 games. It's an extended sample size now for Chicago. Clearly, I'm not excited about laying this price with the Chicago Cubs for today, if you can't tell from my... and of course, you know, the Rockies, 8-9 their last 17 games. They're playing a little bit better. They scored 23 runs against the Athletics on Sunday right here in Las Vegas. Yesterday, they snapped a 10-game Wrigley Field losing streak. All right? You know, they have a chance to win their first series in nearly 4 years at Wrigley, which is a place where they played terrible baseball, and they won here yesterday. So there's something positive going on right now for Colorado. I'm not saying they're a good team. I'm not saying we're going to bet on the Rockies, but for a team that's been among the very worst in baseball, just like the White Sox, you know, it's always pointed upward for Colorado right now. Got the bullpen's been dismal. What happened yesterday? The bullpen came in and dominated for 4.5 innings. Held the Cubs to 1 hit and 1 walk over the last 4 1/3 innings to get the victory. And that's the single worst bullpen in baseball. Yesterday, they showed sign. Today's starter, Sean Sullivan. I know he didn't last long, but he pitched well right here in Vegas. He was sick at the time. That was his debut. And the young lefties, first time through the league, count me in. You know, there's something to be said for supporting the young southpaws with good stuff. And of course, you know, Cubs in the last 5 games, 3 for 39, 0-77 with runners in scoring position. Craig Counsell, who's trying to hang on to his job right now, quote, "We've got to take advantage of the opportunities. We got to score, got to get hits in those spots. We got to do something better offensively." Easy enough to say, not so easy to do. Now, Javier Assad's been pretty solid. You know, he's not someone that has the great advanced metrics numbers, but he's someone who's been very valuable for Chicago so far this season. I don't trust him. I do not trust the Cubs in this price range, even against the Rockies. I don't trust the Cubs off a loss. I'm not laying a price here with Chicago. So, my opinion, Colorado or pass. And I wouldn't argue with anyone looking at the under in this, between a Rockies lineup that's anemic and a Cubs lineup that just isn't putting up runs in bunches. So lean dog, lean under for the Rockies and the Cubs. And obviously, we're talking about the Guardians and the Brewers. Once again, the under makes sense to this better. Thanks so much for watching WagerTalk TV, guys. We really appreciate your support. Have a great Wednesday. Be sure to check back tomorrow for more free play content right here on WagerTalk TV. Cheers.